talking without having the microphone on. Good job, Susie. Good job. Let's do this again. Hi. Good morning. Gonna be just a short stream for me to see if I like the game. I think I will, because the graphics alone very much remind me of another game I've been playing called Orwell, which I really enjoyed. And this one here is set during the French Revolution, which is a time period that I always found very fascinating, ever bit morbid, what with Madame Guillotin. And let's chop off everyone's heads. If I like it, I will probably continue it on Wednesday and kind of have my Wednesday stream as the non-lotro day, and then I'll probably add one weekend stream as well. Bloody hell. I just can't have it the same day every week because I am working alternates, and then I have a whole weekend off. So next week I'll be working Saturday if memory serves. Though I might also stream after work, and then it can be the same time and day every week. I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, so this game, as I said, is set during the French Revolution, and I've watched it just a little bit to see what it's all about. And apparently you are a judge, and it's like you kind of have to save yourself from the revolutionaries, but you also have your family to deal with and the general public, and it looks really interesting, so let's start.
Father, I am here. Do you hear me? I gave you the best I could. Why did you disown me? I have your blood in my veins. How could you? Do I mean nothing to you?
Oh boy.
Why did you grieve for him? He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps. Father.
I like the icon. I mean, if you hear French Revolution, that's the first thing that comes to your mind, isn't it? The guillotine. So yeah. So this is where we're living, apparently. Oh dear. That is not what you do with the tricolor. Raymond Devoyer. I'm hoping I get the French name sort of right. Remind me next time that I want to stop drinking this cloudy rotgut. Remind me before I drink it. With disgracing Themis. Ha! Is someone coming? That's Mathilde Fidel. This is my wifey, and she ain't happy with me. This was bound to happen. Bernard, my elder son. I told you. Frederic, my younger son. Papa, you said we would go. You promised. Papa has a lot of work. Yes, a lot of heavy glasses. I'm a drunkard. You promised me. I can't ask any more. I'm fed up with asking. Mama is angry because... Quiet. Today, your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father. So he started a fight. A 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them. But, well, you were fighting for justice at an inn. Damn you, you bloody drunk. Oh dear. Mother. Documents and letters. Drag and drop documents to manage their layout. Click to display the content. Events. React to events. Ignoring them may have severe consequences. Okay. Notebook. Review detailed information about current events, actions, and characters. Verdict. Consider the effects and decide the defendant's fate. Options. Change the game settings. Hierarchy. Review the current balance of power in Paris and your position therein. Intrigues. Intrigues are complex conflicts between you and another political player. A defendant may turn out to be a defeat may turn out to be disastrous for you. Influence points. Influence points are the main currency in the game. Use them wisely. Notifications. Pay close attention to the changes in your influence and relations with the factions. Global modifiers. Some of your decisions changes in the world of the game may cause global modifiers to come into action. These factors affect relations, reputation, and influence. You can review them in the notebook. Can't look at that yet. Okay, so Fidel, a judge in of the Revolutionary Tribunal. General considered a drunkard and gambler. That's me! A protege of Raymond Devoyer, who introduced him to the world of law and regulations. In private, he is an unremarkable character. Aww. Okay. The option. Can't do anything there. Don't have any notifications. Can't do anything with that. Make your decision. Each action may require a different number of influence points and have a different chance of success. Consider them carefully. Okay. Neighborhood gossip. Your addictions are no longer secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem. But who is spreading those rumors? It is likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered into their children's ears, whom they shouldn't play with, and why. They might even have spiced the story up with a lie. But who will hear next? Okay, let's just talk to them. Right. Because intimidating them, you know, it's never good. Notebook. Relations. Negative relations with factions mean negative consequences for you. For example, the fervor in Paris rising. Reputation. Reputation impacts everything in the world of the game. Factions, family relations, the audience's attitude in court, the fervor in the sections, and even the ability to persuade other characters. Influence points. You have a set amount of influence points per day. In the future, you will be able to increase this limit. Okay, so medium, reputation 2. No sections, no death penalty, so I haven't done any sentencing yet. I have responded to this. So I have responded. Me responding to it has decreased my influence points, okay? People, family and friends. Mathilde, my wifey. Born in Paris, she's never been outside the city. A woman seen by many as a perfect wife. She takes care of the household and the children and looks after her husband's elderly father. She doesn't show it outright, but she is determined to protect her children at all costs. They are perhaps more important to her than you. Bernard, a slender and handsome young man. The weight of current developments in France is slowly dawning on him, igniting a revolutionary zeal in his heart. He thinks that the revolutionary judges should only be appointed from the lower classes of society, because only such people can be considered untainted and able to work towards the common interest, not only their personal gain. His gullibility is more dangerous than Frédéric's. That's your younger son. As his actions can carry the same weight as an adult's. People who excel in manipulating young and weak-willed minds may take advantage of his alacrity. He is a fledgling yet talented fiddler. My youngest son. Naive and innocent, which is completely normal for a boy of his age. He idolizes you and wants to be just like you. Even if he occasionally disobeys his mother, he carries out his father's will to the letter. His favorite toy is a wooden sword that he always carries at his side. In his imagination, he fights against villains, just like his father does in real life. He likes to carve small wooden figurines. My dad, Eldrick. I have no idea how to pronounce that in French, so Eldrick it is. Once a moderately well-off merchant, today a bitter old man left with nothing but feverish visions of impossible vengeance against the Renard family, who once deprived him of his dreams. For several years he was unable to adequately provide for his family, to give his children the same standard of living as they used to enjoy. Since you secured your new position at the court, your family was once again able to live a fairly acceptable life, and your father again began dreaming of returning to his former trade. However, Aldrich has grown too old and too tired to revive his long-lost career. Instead of enjoying the prestige and wealth of the Fidèle family, he has to bear witness to the Renard family's rise to power. Oh dear. And Raymond is my mentor, a man who has lived long enough to fully realize that justice isn't always the right answer. In his line of work, in these troubled times, the only thing that matters is survival instinct. At times, it must go against the interest of the people. A man with such a mindset knows that one must keep an open ear both in the parlors and in the back alleys. The blind Themis appears to him as a bedside fable, fit at best for novice law students. Perhaps he perceives too many shades of grey morality to remain an effective judge. So that was that. Okay, case file. Files. Review charges and facts. This will make it easier for you to unlock questions for the defendant. My son. To Judge Alexis Fidel. We have not expected this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play turned into an adult assault on our children. The younger one, Antoine, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we will react more decisively. I'm sure we can deal with a gambler and drunkard even if he is a judge. We will not let our children be hurt. Okay, so finding links. Find the correct links to unlock questions for the defendant. Choose a line of inquiry and link it to the right category. Chances. While linking lines of inquiry and categories, you can make a limited number of mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, the whole system will become locked. Traps. Some cases may contain traps. Read through the files throughout to find the lines of inquiry that are irrelevant. So Antoine is the victim. So they were playing and then extenuating circumstances. Aha. Questions. Gather information and influence the jury's attitude by questioning the defendant. Unlock questions. To ask questions, you have to first unlock them in the inquiry menu. Question effect. Being in the jury's good graces allows you to find out which way they will sway after you have asked the question. Well, the jury doesn't really exist right now. How did your play turn into a fight? Our neighbors, Antoine and Jean, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing guards and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know. You were fighting both of them at once? I had to. What exactly were they saying? Are you too drunk, I guess? I was not asking you. They were yelling that you are, well, I told them that it's not true, and they started calling me names. They called me a drunkard son. Who started the fight? I can tell you who ended it. I think it was me. I kicked the one on the left and then wanted to get the one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. Did you really break Antoine's tooth? Frederick is just a child. I don't know. I don't think so. Did you hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. Oh. Oh, this is poopy. Punishment. Make the most important decision. Condemn the defendant or deem them not guilty. Sign a document to legislate your... I mean, he did it, so... Unfortunately, you should not start fights regardless of the reason. Those children are so small, and they already know the truth. The father of my children is a lying drunkard and a gambler. Bernard used to worship you, but he soon grew up. Now it is Frédéric's turn to learn the truth that echoes in the streets. He's no longer fearing your anger. He knows that your threats are empty. Frédéric is only starting to learn the truth about his father on the streets. I was unaware that Mathilde had such a temper. As was I. We will wait outside, as always.
Perry. Liberté! We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
Freedom, eh?
We could not resist it. Whole families took to the streets. France was never so happy.
That guy especially.
We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
That is not freedom. Liberté. Day 1. Expected sentence. Find out which verdict is expected by the factions and your close ones. So, prison is expected by common folk and revolutionaries. Acquittal is expected by no. We don't know how the jury feels about stuff yet. Oh boy. The father had a rare episode of foolishness when he decided to stand up to someone stronger, threatening him with a fist and showing his children they are safe by his side. He did not listen to your arguments. Furthermore, he gave a precise prescription of where you can shove them. My reputation went down. We'll see about that, my dear. Robespierre. Owing to his passionate devotion to the revolutionary cause, he is widely referred to as the Incorruptible. As leader of the radical Jacobins, he preserves order in the National Convention with an iron fist and, if need be, terror. Undeniably the most powerful man in Paris in the age of revolution. As yet, none have dared defy him. Nothing. So we done a thing. Nothing's changed here. Okay. Protocol. Review the trial record. Okay. Compiled by Richard Mounier. Jorina, a 45-year-old innkeeper, has been charged with fraud. He is accused of diluting alcohol in his tavern, tricking his clients into paying extra. Oh no. Guests came with their minds set on a special goal, getting roaring drunk. But instead of staggering out after drinking 2 pitchers of wine or several pints of beer, they would sit in the inn until morning, still sober and completely penniless. The innkeeper's fraud came to light when one of the customers discovered the scam and caught the cheater in the act. The men entered the host's cellar and witnessed him diluting the alcohol in the barrels with ordinary water. As a result, customers received only 4 parts of what they paid for and 1 part from the barter carrier. I mean, the method is adding water. Innkeeper, no. What's his I mean, the motive is obviously greed. Crap.
The quest. Die, meatbag.
Hello. How are you from? Okay. Let us ask him. Please introduce yourself. My name is Jean Renard, Monsieur le Juge. Yeah, but whatever. Judge. Nothing but a fraud. Jury. Systematically opposing the opposition of the jury may lead to serious consequences, so I don't know yet what they want. How long have you been involved in the illegal practice of diluting alcohol? It's not an illegal practice. Everyone adds a bit. In your case, it was a bit of wine in the water, not the other way around. Have you been doing this for a long time? A few weeks at the most. It's been hard to earn a living lately. I used to run an honest business. Pure wine was overspilling the glasses. Have a lovely Saturday then. Is there any proof to support your testimony? He lied to his customers. No reason he wouldn't lie in court. Okay, so they believe he's innocent. How do you feel about tricking wealthy citizens? Terrible. But all I wanted was to keep my business afloat. Others don't mess around for sure. No diluting would be the end of me. So you decided to commit fraud so as to not lose money. If I lost my tavern, my family would starve to death. You have children? I do. 1 son and 2 daughters. Time to start saving up for the dowry. Oh. Then why don't you send them to work, idiot? Do your clients drink a lot? Yes. What? Tavern regulars usually drink a lot. So you have been selling plenty of wine. Quite a lot, yes. And yet you have been paying taxes on the amount of wine you have bought, not the amount of wine you have been selling, yes? Correct? You too! I don't understand. You have been paying taxes on 4 wine barrels, but by adding a quarter of water to each, you actually have actually made the money for selling 5 barrels of wine. That's one way of putting it. Perhaps it is correct. I'm not too good with numbers. You are not good with numbers, yet good enough to have calculated that fraud pays off. I wasn't aware. I will take that answer into account. The judge has exposed the bastard. Please call in Thomas Leclerc. Please introduce yourself. Thomas Leclerc. I'm a regular at Jean Renard's establishment. How long have you suspected that something was wrong with Mr. Renard's alcohol? I became suspicious around a month ago. Plenty of wine jugs were empty, but instead of getting more drunk, I was just getting sober. It was already dawn when I realized I had no money left on me, and I was sober as a baby. How was that possible? I mean, that shouldn't be the case, even if you watered down wine by that much, which isn't that much. Like, I don't know. Back then I didn't realize customers were being served a proper first drink, then received more and more water and drinks after that. Being slightly drunk, they weren't able to notice the difference. Was it like that every time? Every single time. I got influence points? Oh, wait. Yes. Yeah. Reputation -2 because bastard. Can I not talk to him again? Yeah, oh well. I mean, he is so guilty. I sentence citizen Jean Renard to prison. Lead the condemned out. Huzzah! Long live pure wine! Moving on. After trial, click to move on to the next part. Home time! Jacques-Louis David. May I remind you that you promised to join me? I have a feeling that tonight's moon favors gamblers, though it does not favor spouses. God should grace us with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. I should go home. Bringing a judge to the game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. That is not a strong argument. My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You are a sly politician, Jacques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. What should I do? Let's keep our promise. Alright, but only for a short while. Wifey ain't gonna be happy. Oh boy.
The moon favors gamblers.
What? You can berate me, as you always do. Frederick sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor. He dreams that you visit distant countries, have wonderful adventures, and one day you'll return and tell us all about them. But all I see is a man in a lifeboat, and one of your oars is broken. A furious storm churns up huge waves that are fated to devour you, and I'm standing on the edge of a cliff holding a makeshift lamp. The children have already forgotten about you. They are far, far away. Your father died of old age. Your drinking companions now play cards with new friends. But not you. No. I'm still standing on the shore, hoping that your boat does not sink. That vision is not so distant either. Your sons are still young, but the storm has already begun. If you don't turn around now, good night. Before the storm creates the highest wave, you'll have to bow before it, alone. It will force you to become meek, and nobody will be there to see it. Family reactions. Upon returning home, you can decide how you would like to spend the rest of the day. Each action will affect the other members of the family as well as their attitude towards you. Characters' attitudes. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you of certain bonuses, for example, reputation or relations with factions. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. Take good care of him. Locked action. After various important events, you may find yourself with an action forced upon you. On this day, you become victim of your own decisions. Oh. You're not gonna like that. What now? Oh god, she doesn't like it. He didn't like it. Oh boy. Day 2. We really have to do something with our friends. With our family. Let me just check something. Today, the people of Paris commemorate Guillaume Simoneau, mayor of Eton. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolize the unity of our society and the hope that the most violent stage of the revolution is past us. Let us make sure that no other loyal servant of France becomes a victim of such hatred ever again. Simoneau was a good, loyal officer. Those bastards lynched him for observing the law. Will you join me at the march? I guess. We ought to show that we oppose the self-appointed executioners and stand alongside of the victims. I wonder why the king has taken trouble to show up. Louis the 16th? God, my French is rusty as hell. Marching arm in arm with the people of Paris. That is unexpected. You don't say. King Louis. Continue, please. I am merely an observer. Do not change your habits for me. Louis Capet. I heard a thing or two about a young and ambitious judge of the tribunal. I was curious whether he is guided by justice or by entertainment, as some say. As some would say. David, an artist and politician. His paintings often refer to the revolution. When it comes to his political career, he is an efficient deputy of the convention. Those two areas of his life are blending together and feeding back on themselves. For example, when he led the closure of the Académie Française, the same institution that had rejected him for many years. He is a longtime friend of Judge Fidel. Burrell, the aging commander of the National Guard. He has seen enough not to put trust in ordinary people, even if they are able to start a revolution. Most Parisians are ordinary. They have ordinary problems, ordinary consciousnesses, and an ordinary resistance to pain. They were not hardened by the revolution. The father of the family that spread the rumor about your weaknesses was no different. A few punches were more than enough to convince his instincts that it was time to stop talking. Oh dear, I've been bad. I still can't do anything with that. Notifications, so do that. Revolutionaries really like me, the people not so much. My reputation is still at 1. Pour Papa Bernard. Aw. Okay, that's cute. So I went up 3 influence points, obviously. I went up a reputation point, that's important. Because I did lose 2 earlier. And the common folk like me a bit less, so... Georges Danton, an attorney himself, he knows the law as well as the tribunal's judges. The fact is considered by many to be the only thing keeping him alive in light of the numerous accusations of corruption and treason against him. Even more important, however, is his ability to deliver fiery speeches that result in the dismissal of all potential charges. His rivalry with Robespierre has become the talk of the town, and their official relations are often referred to as a harsh friendship. Yeah, about that. Okay, so. Nope. Anything. Compiled by Nathan Desiraf. So theft and burglary. Okay. The defendant is Olivier Mugler. 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed. Oh my lord. But at least there's no traps. Oh, that's good. Who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert of unopened locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owner of a Parisian glassworks, Jean Rude, Louis Cros, and Ferdinand, by the owners, and Ferdinand Salat, to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialists' houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vian. The thief from Orléans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salin. An expensive Turgot map of Paris within the houses of the recently robbed industrials marked on it was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Salin had given Mugler an identical map as an advance payment. This deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration from all the employers. Hello. How do I get to the next page? Oh. Further investigating information came from the further interesting information came from the owner of the Ginger Margot Inn. She recalled that on the night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognize. Based on her description, we were able to identify him as the aforementioned Hector Vian. The men allegedly engaged in an evening of drinking sponsored by Mugler. Evidence: a map of Paris found on Hector Vian. Robbing the bourgeoisie is no crime. According to the case file, you are citizen Olivier Mugler. Is that correct? Indeed it is, Monseigneur le Judge. Whatever. May I have a request? I would like to sit down. I'm an old man, you see. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing. Do the names Salin, Rude, and Roux mean anything to you? Why are you so determined to arrest an old man? They sound like the names of my debtors. Debtors? They are the victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? Okay, so evidence is the map. Oh, that was lucky. You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Who installed them? It was me, naturally, and all in agreement with the contract. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see whether the work was complete. And pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site, at the client's property. No, none of those idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Does that mean you knew the address of the victims? How else would I get there? Blindfolded on a wagon? How much did you charge for your services? 3,000 francs. Tidy sum, that is. If you were a master locksmith, you'd charge that much too. This is quite a substantial fee. Indeed, that's how much it costs to have high-quality locks made by a master with nearly 50 years of experience. And those bastards never paid me a single franc. Well, the victims did not pay you the agreed amount? Not a franc. I'd beat that money right out of them if but I'm too old for that. Do you recognize this map? No, I don't recall ever seeing it before. Interesting. Ferdinand Salin claims that he gave you this map as an advance payment for your services. He claims what? That wicked wretch of a second-rate merchant. He gave me a scrap of paper as payment for making 3 locks and says it's supposed to be worth more than the 3,000 francs he owes me. An honest laborer is being judged while frauds remain at large. Silence! So this map does belong to you? It doesn't. So where is the map that you received from Citizen Salon? I lost it. Fancy that. But it wasn't even worth a loaf of bread, so I surely won't shed a tear. But if you have it, maybe you stole it from me. You'd better make a note that Olivier Mugel demands remuneration from Rood, Roux, and Salon. Rumor has it that you are one of the best locksmiths in Paris. I should deny it for my modesty's sake, but I will not. That cannot be true, though, as a random thief from Orléans was easily able to open your locks. Well, then he must have been one of the best thieves in Orléans. Let's be serious, Monsieur le Juge. Every lock can be picked with the right talents, even my locks. Did you know Hector Villon before? This is the first time I've heard the name. That is interesting, as you were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Market's Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced themselves as Hector. It is called Vive, révolution. I did not plan any heists with a Hector, Victor, or Hugo. I'm a locksmith and earn good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. Were you the one who marked the addresses on the three victims on the map? I didn't mark anything. The houses of your clients are marked on the map. I don't know who marked them. Maybe you should ask the person you found the map on. Maybe the court made the marks and has no memory of doing so. Do you not think there are too many coincidences in your story? You obtain the map, but lose it, and then it is found on the thief who has robbed your clients. I know nothing of coincidences. I only make locks. Did you give Hector Villon the map with the victims' houses marked on it? I gave nothing to Achilles, Hector, or any other Greek. Call in the witness, Citizen Jean Rood. Jean Rood, in the flesh. You will not speak unless called upon. Naturally, of course. What went missing during the burglary? My house was the first one to be robbed, and in my case it was mostly valuables. At Roux's house, he will not say it himself, and I do not want to go to prison, it was the letters he had exchanged over the years with King Louis. Damn monarchists! Salin did not lose a thing. He shot that vermin in the act. That is what he said. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. According to Salin, Hector had nothing with him. Ferdinand suspects he had hidden the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house? Strange. Is it? Look upset. What are you afraid of? Monsieur le Juge, that crowd behind me, and you know what? I do not want to go to prison, and Salin said that if I were to talk nonsense in court, I would be sentenced to a few years. Is that true? Citizen Ferdinand Salah instructed you on what to testify. No, well, he might have offered some suggestions on how not to get into trouble by speaking gibberish. I'm a rather nervous person, and I sometimes struggle to make sense. A fool more than a witness, that's our bourgeoisie. Did you tell him how to open the victim's trunks? I understand what you are implying, but consider this. If he sold the secret of my locks, then my business would be over. Word spreads fast amongst thieves. Ooh, hoo, hoo. So they want me to go for acquittal. The common folk does. The revolutionaries want me to... I mean... Let's go for that. Hope for the best. To be honest, this does not bear the marks of social justice. They would not pay him, so he had them robbed. There is balance. This does bear the marks of social justice. There is balance. Oh well. The revolutionaries don't like me anymore. Yeah. What to do now? I think I want to spend some time with me family.
King Louis XVI. There were people who truly loved him. He reminded the French they had noble ancestors. Do not be manipulated by people who are not bearing the burden of responsibility. This saddened me. Someone had advised him to say that. Someone who was well aware of the cold, inevitable wind of change. I did not pity the king, but those who will come after him, as they will not have great ancestors.
One of us. Frenchmen marched in the streets of Paris side by side, one night after another, to commemorate Jacques Guillaume Simoneau, mayor of Eton. He was murdered by a furious mob, punished for a law he did not enact, but was obliged to observe. Freedom of speech killed him. If we understand this as the right to cast stones to show one's discontent, the right to murder people because you deem them responsible for your miserable life, surely the people of Paris would prefer if we said that nothing happened. Yeah, this is good anyway, because this kind of even stuff out a bit. Your son is rather good with the viola. He is both talented and enthusiastic. I would prefer that he was as enthusiastic about the law books I give him. Maybe his destiny is to become an artist, not a lawyer. Mother likes to hear me playing, and there's nothing more boring than law. See? He would rather let his career rely on the humours of the people. There are many ways to rescue France. Believe me, our country desperately needs something to ennoble it. The power is in the hands of simple, illiterate people. Let him rescue their souls with music. That is better than boring laws and clauses. See what you are doing? You are spoiling my child. I do not have my own children to spoil, so I am focusing on yours. How kind! Speaking of which... Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so I can't do anything else. He likes me more. He likes me less. She likes me less. Oh my lord. Oh dear.
That is our new symbol of freedom. You can still smell the fresh wood.
Do you feel free looking at it?
Individuals like us do not need symbols, but France does. Did you hear the news of the day? People are running around like headless chickens and yelling about Louis and his entourage escaping Paris.
So, we will not be enjoying the aroma of fresh wood for long.
Monuments like that are not installed solely for the purpose of punishing thieves or lesser aristocrats.
Do you think it wants to taste royal blood?
Louis's flight was a stupid move, yet it seems it was planned. One of us will sacrifice him. That is, if they catch him.
Is that why Louis visited us at the court? To manipulate us?
Maybe deep in his heart he felt what the builders of the guillotine did. That someone has to be exposed as a traitor, even if there is none.
Antoine Tonville? Welcome, citizen Fidel. My name is Antoine oh god. Quentin Fouquier de Tonville. I am the public prosecutor that has been assigned to assist at every tribunal trial starting from today. I should warn you that I am uncompromising, although I hope that we quickly find common ground. In happier news, the construction of the guillotine has been finished. We may begin using it today. Oh, great. Yes, we have seen it. The king is gone. Treason. Anyone with information about his whereabouts should immediately disclose it to the authorities. Robespierre. Saint-Just is lying. During one of the regular disputes at Café Procope, the brazen Saint-Just demagogically suggested that all judges are corrupt relics of the Ancien Régime. Unfortunately, he chose to use you as an example. Again. ID. Anyone? Nope. Bloody Saint-Just. He, is a good friend of, Robespierre. Nothing happened today? Okay. Nope. Okay. I'm doing this case and then I'm probably gonna stop for today. But this is fun. Compiled by Pierre Dacan. Jean Ibert, the famous street urchin who killed the governor of the Bastille, de Launay, and carried his head on a pike, has recently been detained. After the triumph of the revolution, he reached the nadir of his life, whatever that means. Though many people still consider him a hero, they do not care that the Parisian archives are filled with complaints about thefts, robberies and assaults on women. The current case is much graver, as Ibert is accused of raping 16-year-old Elodie de Pondalba. Okie dokie. Enjoy the noms. The charges were brought by the victim's father, Baron Thomas de Pontalba. It is widely known that de Pontalba was a relative and friend of Governor de Launay. Ha! The crime allegedly took place in the tenement belonging to the victim's family. Right. Jean was detained by people working outside while trying to escape the building. Elodie gave a written statement saying that the incident took place on a holiday, and Jean used the absence of the Baron and most of the servants to break into the tenement. Once he was inside, he entered her room and raped her. The incident was witnessed by Anne Michel, Elodie's governess. It was she who alarmed the workers about disturbing noises coming from her charge's room. A number of witnesses felt obliged to inform us that Anne Michel is known for her psychotic jealousy and her numerous romances with the people of France. The results of the medical examination. The examination revealed the following: defloweration, minor attrition of the genital area, bruising and hemorrhaging of the arm, spine, and face. Dr. P. Gibby. Right. Anne Michel's testimony. Usually in the mornings, Miss Elodie and I read. However, the chef had that day off, so I was preparing tea. Then I heard her screaming. I ran to her room but stopped when I heard a male voice. I was scared and asked for help. They bring in Jean. So everyone wants him to be free. We're with you, Jean. I kind of am as well. Please introduce yourself. Jean Ibert, the conqueror of the Bastille and vanquisher of the tyrant de Launay, the hero of all Parisians. Jean Ibert, you are accused of raping Miss Elodie de Pontalba, daughter of Baron Thomas de Pontalba. Do you plead guilty? I don't plead anything. That bourgeois and her counter-revolutionary father are filthy liars. We need to bear in mind the possibility of criminal conclusion in the charges. That's right, those rich swines love their machinations. The evidence speaks against you. Childish duplicity and de Pontalba's plot prove nothing. Right. Method is rape. I somehow don't believe it though. I think that's no. Can I save? You know, just to be safe. No, I can't. Oh, that sucks. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's do that again. Heh. Okay. Blah 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 blah. How did you break into the tenement belonging to the Baron? Why would I break in? I used the back door. How did you know about that entrance? The Baron's daughter told me. She also informed me that her beloved father and most of the servants wouldn't be at home. She told you to visit for that specific purpose? She was giving me very clear signs. All aristocrats are whores. Are you saying that you came to Baron de Pontalba's house at the invitation of the victim? That young bitch promised me a nice afternoon. She explained everything in detail. Let John go! Quiet, people. The judge is beginning to understand. Remain calm, and he will soon let me go. Did you know Miss Elodie de Pontalba before the incident? She flirted with me every time she visited the Café Pocot. And she came to every dispute between Danton and Marat. I finally gave that girl what she was asking for. So you admit your guilt? Yes, but it wasn't rape. Show me one girl that would say no to a hero. You say you met her at the Café Pocot. I highly doubt that such a young lady would go to a place like that all by herself. Who said she was alone? Anne brought her, and everyone knows she likes to have fun. Are you talking about Anne Michel, Miss Elodie's governess? That's right. So that was not the first time you entered the house of the victim's family. What victim? Anyway, yes, I was there a few times and know it well. Let me just say that Anne Michel and I have explored every. Spare us the details. The old whore took the young whore for a walk. Oh boy. Did you know the Baron is a relative of the deceased Governor Delaunay? No, but that explains a lot. The whole case was conjured up by the Pontalbas. By de Pontalba. He wants to get rid of me because I freed France from a tyrant. Delaunay's family should have been executed a long time ago. So you would not call rape an instrument in the war against the monarchists? Monarchists should be decapitated, and their daughters should be thanking the heroes of the revolution. I see. I know, right? That's right. Silence. We are talking about a young girl who was raped. Allegedly. Do you know what? I actually think everyone wants me to free him, so do you find a particular pleasure in the abuse of women? Why would I abuse women when there are nicer things to do with them? Well, unless they like it. Are you suggesting that the victim wanted to get raped and beaten? I didn't force her to do anything, and I definitely didn't beat her. The medical examination proves clearly that she was injured. Go away. I lost me game. There it is. Better ask the Pontalba who battered her. He was furious when he found out who was in bed with his sweet daughter. Are you suggesting that he assaulted his daughter because she consorted with you? It wouldn't surprise me. Aristocrats do worse things than beating their own children. Okay. I want to see what she has to say. Sorry. show, blah blah, the governess. What do you know about this case? Ibert is guilty and should be killed. He used our relationship to get closer to the Baron's daughter and hurt her. What do you mean? He knew exactly when the servants had a day off and when the Baron left for the Legislative Assembly. Did he learn those facts from you? Not directly. He paid me several visits at Baron de Pontalva's house. Did it not occur to you that he may use this knowledge against the Baron's family? I see. Did the Baron know about your meetings? No! The Baron had more important things to worry about than the personal lives of his servants. Why did you neglect your duties and stop looking after the victim? That day the Baron ordered me to take care of the house. Miss Elodie didn't have any classes and was spending time in her room. And you did not hear the accused entering the building? No, I was busy in the kitchen. I wasn't alerted until I heard sounds of a struggle and Miss Elodie's screams coming from her room. That could be so faked. I find it baffling that you did not hear anything before then. I can't explain that, but I was making a lot of noise while cooking. Is watching the house not one of your responsibilities? Well, yes, but I can't be in two places at once. I am gonna go with my hunch and say the dead put her up to this. And the whole thing is a setup, sorry. Whee. Acquittal. Interesting. Ooh. Bravo! So his guilt was not clearly confirmed. This is the France we fought for when storming the Bastille. The judge is one of us, one of us, one of us. Oh. Papala. Hey, my reputation went up. Hey, I got one more influence point. Yay. That's Papa. No official. Due to the establishment of a revolutionary tribunal, we need to prepare an official stamp. I was told to ask you, citizen, because President Devoyer is indisposed. How much did he drink? He was not able to say. Shall we? Oh, I get to make a stamp. I get to make a stamp. That one. I don't know if a fleur-de-lis would be a good idea, but I like the fleur-de-lis. Let's go for the fleur-de-lis. Fleur-de-lis everywhere. I like that one. Thank you for your time. And I got the achievement. I know it's late. The stamp should be ready tomorrow. Good night. Night night. She will like that. You would like that. Dad wouldn't like it. That is definitely no. Okay. I'll go for that. Oh, screw off, Alba. Yay! So I just want to know where we're at. So I'm just clicking through this. Uh-oh. I mean, I'm probably gonna redo this. I just wanna see yada yada. I just want to see if anything is happening. Uh-oh. Why did my reputation go back down? Anyway, so I am going to stop here. I'm going to try out something. I guess it's not gonna run credits if there's no credits to run, or do I have to do something to get them to run? That's the job. I don't want the job. When did this happen? The muting. Don't tell me I was muted the whole time. Oh, okay. It must have been when I clicked on something. Okay, then. So I shall I shall be finishing now. Thank you for stopping by. I'm probably, as I said, I really enjoy this game. I'm going to continue it on Wednesday. So yeah, until then, See you later, alligator. Bye bye.